What up? Got another exclusive video. I did a video on a preacher. I'm gonna call him a pimp preacher, trying to pimp the congregation for a watch. This one here on a homosexual preacher. Really? Yeah, really. A homosexual preacher. Then he say God can be anything you want him to be. Where's that in the Bible? That's why I say y'all need to get up out of these churches, man. Get up out of these churches, my people. But here we go with the video, man. Roll it.
So if I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, I like to ask the person before I mention,
Okay.
know if it's true or not. Are you a homosexual?
I am a same gender loving man.
So does that mean you're a homosexual?
It means that I'm a same gender loving man.
But just from, I'm black and slow.
Okay.
And just for the record, does that mean you're a homosexual?
I could be considered a homosexual.
Are you considered? I don't want to think of you if you're not.
I'm a homosexual.
You're a homosexual?
Yes.
And so you're a homosexual pastor?
I am a homosexual pastor, yes.
How long have you been a homosexual pastor?
I've been a pastor for 8 years, senior pastor, and then before that, prior to that, I was a youth pastor.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that God would call a person, a homosexual, to be a pastor but not change him?
So, I don't think that God majors where we minor. And so I think that what happens is I think that we put limitations on God that God doesn't have. For example, we could, if you go to seminary or something like that, you find out that there's a thought process that God could possibly be a woman, or that God could be this, or that God could be that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
You believe that he can be a woman?
I believe that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
So could he be a homosexual too if you needed him to be one?
Well, honestly, I don't think that God, the Bible says that God is neither male nor female.
Right. So how can he be a woman then if he's not a female?
Well, I'm saying that, so there's a book that's by who's the book by? There's a book that is written, it's called, what is it called?
Well, that's all right by the title. What about the book?
But in the book, the principles of the book talk about God swaying himself to this, and it's called The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. And so if you read that book, then you find out that God basically finds himself congruent to whatever state of mind a person is in. And so at one state, God is a Jewish carpenter. At one state, God shows himself as a big black woman in the kitchen cooking.
Big black woman?
A black woman in the kitchen cooking. And
So you think God could be a big black woman?
I think that God can be whatever it is that you need God to be at that moment.
Do you think that God could be a homosexual too?
If God needs to be a homosexual, I think that he was, but I don't liken him to that. I don't liken God to be to be an isolated gender.
So you believe that God could be a woman, a big black woman, a homosexual?
God could be whatever you need God to be.
And so does that person make God what they want him to be in their mind so they can accept being wrong? Or does God switch genders and all that kind of stuff?
I don't think that that we create God to be whatever we want God to be in our minds. I think that it's based on experiences. The experiences of that person allows God to transform himself in whatever it is that person needs to be.
You say God is a black woman.
I didn't say God was a black woman. I used the book as an analogy
That God was a black woman?
to show us that God could be whatever it is that we need God to be.
Amazing. Do you believe that book?
I believe that God could be whatever it is that we want God to be.
Really?
Yes.
And so you've been a homosexual all your life, you said earlier, right?
At the age of 9, I knew that I liked the same sex. Yes.
How did you become that way?
I didn't become that way. I knew that was my innate nature to like men.
And so how did your nature go from a natural nature of being a man or male to an unnatural nature of becoming a woman? How did that happen?
You said the unnatural nature of me becoming a woman?
Yeah, how, if you were born a natural male, right?
You're born a natural male.
Right, you were, right?
I am a male currently sitting here in front of you.
But how did you go from being a natural male to an unnatural woman?
Who's an unnatural woman?
But isn't homosexuality is like being a female feelings?
No.
What is it?
No.
What is it exactly?
Being gay is, or being gay, being a homosexual, whatever term like that a person wants to
Right.
use to identify themselves. It's an innate state of being. It means that this is who that person is. If I'm not a woman, I'm a man sitting here in front of you having a conversation. I have a penis, just like you have.
Well,
a
you
penis.
do have the male parts, but now they're cutting that off too. Did you hear about that? We'll get to that. But do you feel inwardly? Do you feel like a male or you feel like a female?
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
No, but what do you feel
I
like?
feel
on
like
inside?
a male. And
Inside?
I am a male sitting here in front of
I
you.
realize that, but inside, do you feel like a man or you feel like a woman?
I am a male sitting here in front of you. So that answers your question, right?
I know.
I don't feel like anything because I am a male.
You don't feel like neither male nor woman?
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
I realize that, but what made you think you're a homosexual then? If there's not a
What makes
feeling on
me-
the inside, why do you think you're
Homosexuality is not a feeling; it's a state of being. It's who the person innately is.
Uh-huh.
It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with creating a feeling that you're talking about. It's an innate. It's the innate nature of who that person is. I innately am who I am. Me being gay or homosexual has nothing to do for me with being a man. It has everything to do with my preference and who I choose to sleep with.
What does the word innately mean? What does that mean? I'm black and slow. I don't know what that means.
The word innate,
Uh-huh.
the word innate means that I'm not changing or I'm not becoming something else. I am who I am.
Just before we started the show, you said that you introduced your, is he your husband or your wife? Is that your husband? He gonna be your husband or your wife?
I'm gonna end this interview.
Why?
Yeah, because we're ending this right now.
Why you want to end?
We're ending it.
Well, why
this
come
off.
back?
Take this off. When you want to have a real conversation,
I'm
call
having-
me.
I'm-
No, you're bullshitting me,
Come
and
back.
I'm not gonna be a part of that. Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me.
But why are you running?
Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me. Please take it off of me.
Really,
Because
come take it
you're
off.
disrespecting me.
But no, I'm
So-
asking you really.
Please take it off.
Am
or
I
I'm gonna
asking
take
him
it
real
with
serious
me.
question?
No, I'm saying, just let them take their recording. They're trying to get a reaction.
It's okay.
Be quiet.
No, that's not what
Okay,
we're doing.
so
Just take it off.
yeah.
But
Is
tell me
it-
why
is
you're
it
running.
down?
I'm not running, sir, but when you want to have a real conversation, you have my information. You can
But you
call
said
me.
that you were gonna.
When you want to have a real conversation,
You said
When
that
you
gonna
wanna
marry
have a
this-
real
You
conversation,
said you
you
gonna
can call
marry
me.
this guy.
when you want to have, he's a guy. You're calling him a female. You're being disrespectful.
I asked if you gonna call him husband or wife. Come back.